from Eager to Stamp, and I'm coming at you live. YouTube is letting me go live, which is great because I've got no more room on my camera. Or I should say on my phone. It's full of photos and videos and everything like that. I'm not too sure what's going, but anyway, we're going to be using the sweet jar and the punch. I'm just going to check out something. Sorry, I'm probably going to stuff this all up, but it's just looking really, really dark and there's a message on my screen. So yeah, let's close. There we go. Okay. Oh, looking much better. You are still here. Sorry about this. Just first time I've gone live, so yeah, a little bit new. Anyway, so we're going to make this card tonight using the sweet jar and the punch, sweet jar stamp set and punch. You'll notice here that I've also got a couple of little extras. So I'm using Just a Note, the stamp set, and also the die. That is absolutely the cutest little thing. And these are from the tags, the tag here from Tags to Go. And the stamp that I've used there is just from a retired thank you stamp. The date comes from, I think that's also from the Tags to Go. Yes, it is. No, yes, that's also from the, and I've been using it so much. I just find it could be so useful. Put it on tags, you know, like you can put it onto like a little gift of cookies and things like that. So you put the date on. Anyway, let's get started. So, colours. Okay. Oh, you'll notice the paper is the Cheers and Sips. Is that what you call it? What's it called? Check it out. Celebratory Sips. Beautiful paper. Gorgeous. Had it for a couple of weeks. But I haven't been able to craft. So, yeah, finally getting into the craft room and doing a little bit of crafting. Right, so celebratory sips, and I didn't have any of the cloud cover, I think it's called, and so I'm using Lost Lagoon, and it's actually turned out, I think, it's gorgeous. I think Lost Lagoon goes really, really well. All right, let's get cracking. So we're going to need a thick white card base. And we're also going to need that piece of Lost Lagoon for the first layer. And then I've also got the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper. I've put that onto just a piece of basic white. So I better get those little bits and pieces. Alright, so we're going to cut up some Lost Lagoon, and we need to grab some basic white. Alright, so here's a card base I prepared earlier. That's handy. And also just a piece of basic white, which we can cut to size in a moment. Here's my little scrap baggie. Alright, so my card base is already cut to size. You'll see that. I'm doing Australian sizes, so it is a full sheet of A4 paper, and then I've cut it at 10.5. I've done the score line at 14.8, and then I'm working with a card front of 14.8 by 10.5 centimeters. Which means that this piece of white that I'm going to glue my Celebratory Sips paper to will need to be 10 centimeters in width and 14.3 centimeters, because I would like to show the Lost Lagoon layer. This just helps for my designer series paper to just sit nicely on the card front. So that's for there. All right, and we'll cut up some Lost Lagoon while we're here. So this Lost Lagoon is going to be the card base size. So that will be the 14.8 centimeters. So it's basically a piece of A4 card that's been cut in half. And then that will also be at the 10.5 width. So you're not seeing the thick white card base on the front. All right, that's all the cutting that I need to do for now. I'm going to bring back our piece of white, and I'm going to bring in our Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper. Now, on the card that I showed you at the start, I used the orange here. I'm actually going to change that up a little bit. Let's do the nice pink spotty paper, which is on the back of that gorgeous drinks kind of paper. So it's so cute. Okay, we don't need that one for now. Let's go ahead and do some gluing. So I like to use the Tombow multi-purpose glue. And I just do a light and then up the middle there. So just lightly around the edges, up the middle, sorry. And basically this is going to be neat against the sides, so no white showing. And I can check that, flip it over. Yep, that looks good. All right, same again. Just a light Tombow down the edge and then down the middle, like a little squiggle. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, it's school holidays here. In fact, it's nearly the end of the school holidays. Now I'm going to match it up in the middle, and I just thought that if I have got any white showing on the edge, kind of blends in with the paper anyway, really. But I could trim that with a pair of scissors if I wanted to. All right, so now that we've got our little base, we need to bring in, so this gorgeous little guy, he's from the Just a Note. There's a die set that comes with it, and this is the big die that cuts out your little notes. So cute. All right, so we're going to add here this guy to the front. Now you'll notice I've already, just for this first time they've gone live, so I've already stamped the I'll show you the stamp set. But there are lines, little note paper lines that are in the set, along with the Just a Note. So I'm going to flip that over. All right, we're bringing it more over to the left side, but centered. Okay, and when I'm happy, we'll just glue that. Okay, so I'll show you that stamp set. So this is the Just a Note stamp set, and you'll see the lines here that I've used, and then I've also used the Just a Note there. And I'll just give you a quick little look at the dies. Cute little set here. But there's all of these little extra bits in here. I love this. So looking forward to using these. So much in a teacher's heart, this one. We love our stationery. We do. Okay. Now, next part of our design is to grab our strip of Designer Series paper. This is going to go across the center. But you can see that it is too long. But before I trim that, most important part is that this one is actually the whole length of the Lost Lagoon. So it's actually a 10.5 centimetre long strip. So what I'll do is I'll adhere our first, well, it's kind of like our second layer really, isn't it? Because our first layer is the Lost Lagoon. So we'll adhere this little guy to our Lost Lagoon. So this card comes together really quickly. I'll be interested actually to see the time at the end of the live. So I love to have a nice little even border around my card, my paper, my prettiness. And let's bring this guy in. So we want that one to be 10.5 centimeters. So we'll bring back our little trimmer. 10.5. Bada boom, bada bim, done. Okay. Card back. And that one's going to get adhered right over the top. Okay. Now you'll notice that there's also a little date stamp down there. As I said before, that little date stamp comes from, give it a little bit of glue in the bindle. That one comes from the Tags to Go stamp set. Another stamp set that I've actually been using quite a lot over these holidays. So yeah, almost back to school. Australia, it's our mid-year winter holidays, so it's only been about 2 weeks long. Right, let's bring in our jar. So I've done a reel just recently about how I have managed to punch out the stamped jar. It's a really fun little tip. I'll just show you really quickly. So basically you punch out the jar, then you grab your stamp and you pop it into the, that's called the negative space. All right, so you pop it into the negative space. You just have a quick little look, and when you're happy with it, bring in your stamping block, press down, and voila. And then that, basically, you can see, stamp it, punch it, it's perfect. But there is a reel on my Instagram channel, so if you want to go and check that out, go for it. But stay with me just now, don't go yet. All right, jar. Okay, we're gonna put this one to the side right now, and we're gonna do the jar, a little bit of glitzy, bit of bling. So we're going to bring in a bit of the gold ribbon. We're going to need to have a label. Oh, now I did have a label that I had prepared earlier. Let's just do a quick little look-sees. Here he is. Okay, so again, this one's from the Tags to Go, stamped with a retired stamp set with the thanks. I actually think it used to say Thanksgiving, but anyway, that's what a little sticky note can do. Again, a little supply in the teacher. And we've got a beautiful little sparkly dot going on there, little bling. Okay, so what do? Okay, we need to glue our ribbon to the back of the jar. Okay, now, you know how much I love my Tombow, and I'm doing that completely wrong, I know. All right, sorry about that. We want to put the glue on the back of the jar, and I'm going to glue just below the lid so that it is going to come. Now there's a little white strip on this ribbon, and I'm going to find about the halfway point. And oh, so right, we've got time. This is why I love Tombow, because we have got time. So I'm just going to straighten up my ribbon along that line there, and then I'm going to just straighten up my jar. So I want it to be coming just over the sides, not where the rim is. Okay, so we're just going to just press that down. Now, being a live video, we don't really have that much time, so we're just going to keep on moving. Grab my tag and kind of thread it onto the ribbon. And we need a glue dot. Okay, take a big tool and a glue dot from one of my kits. Don't throw out your glue dots. Use them again in other projects. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got our glue dot, and the glue dot's going to go probably about there. That looks about right. And then we're just going to thread our label a bit more down, but we also, yeah, that's cute, and a little bit of an angle too. All right, just see if we can pull that ribbon a bit. Yeah, perfect. Okay, all right, now tie. Just going to tie into a very simple knot. Okay, nothing fancy. Keeping the glue dots out, the take a pick, because they're going to come in handy again in a moment. All right. Oh, see, this is the thing. Because I'm rushing. You know what? Well, I've got the glue dots out. Let's just do this, hey? Just for speed. I'm gonna pop a little glue dot there, just so we can get cracking and get this card done and made. I don't know, I reckon maybe 15 minutes to make this card. Let's see. Okay, beautiful. Okay, move you over to the side once you're angling that way, thank you. Good. And okay, there's one. All right, we want to tie that one more time. Sorry, just a little finger on there. Make it a bit tight. Okay, and good old simple knot through the loops and pull. Now you can, I like this ribbon because it is actually very malleable. Oh, my kids would be so proud of me for using that word, malleable. We just did properties of materials last term for science. Hey kids, I'm using our word malleable. Ooh. Okay, jar lid. Okay, so really simple. We're just going to glue our jar lid. I'm trying to decide, am I going to glue along here? I think I will actually. I'm going to glue just along that strip there, just the top of the jar, stamped image that you see, and then we'll grab the lid and we'll just pop it underneath the label and slide it down a little bit like so. Okay. Oh, just gorge. All right, where are we up to? We had all of this done. Geez, we're pretty close actually, because all we need to do is glue this guy into the center of there. So again, just a little bit of glue. I'm also trying to get this video done before I have any kids come and find me tucked away in my craft room. It's actually been surprisingly quiet, so I'm very lucky to have snuck in this video without an intruder. And here we go. Okay, so oh, I like that. Yeah, just along that line, kind of in the middle. All right, and the last thing that we need to do is we bring in our card base. We find the center fold and try trusty old bone folder. We get a nice crisp fold, and we're just going to adhere that to the front of our card base. So again, just a little thin strip of glue. I'll tell you what, we made a couple of mistakes with Tombow. It really does stick. It's very, very hard to get off. Now, the trick with this one is to glue right from the fold. You want to glue right from the fold, and you want to make sure that all of the sides, you're meeting all of the sides. Okay, now there is that little bit of wiggle room time with the, and we'll just get the bone folder, just smooth that down. Okay, now you'll notice down the bottom there is a little white strip, and we'll just get our scissors and we'll just trim off. Oh, I can hear someone coming. It's all right, they're going into the freezer in the shed. Hopefully they don't come in here. That'll be interesting. All right. Okay, let's make a comparison. So here's our card that we just made. Here's the card that I made earlier, and I haven't missed anything. Beautiful. All right, thank you so much for coming along and watching, and I look forward to bringing you more videos in the future. And because this is up on my tripod, I've got to find the off button. I wonder where that might be. Try button. Should we try a button, or should we try and take it off? No, that's a volume. Awesome. How do we stop?